Blackstone Publishing presents The Great Derangement, Climate Change and the Unthinkable by Amitav Ghosh. This book is read by Shridhar Solanki. For Mukul Kesavan, in memory of the 1978 tornado. Part 1. Stories. 1. Who can forget those moments when something that seems inanimate turns out to be vitally, even dangerously alive? As for example, when an arabesque in the pattern of a carpet is revealed to be a dog's tail, which, if stepped upon, could lead to a nipped ankle. Or when we reach for an innocent-looking vine and find it to be a worm or a snake. When a harmlessly drifting log turns out to be a crocodile. It was a shock of this kind, I imagine, that the makers of The Empire Strikes Back had in mind when they conceived of the scene in which Han Solo lands the Millennium Falcon on what he takes to be an asteroid, but only to discover that he has entered the gullet of a sleeping space monster. To recall that memorable scene now, more than 35 years after the making of the film, is to recognize its impossibility. For if ever there were a Han Solo, in the near or distant future, his assumptions about interplanetary objects are certain to be very different from those that prevailed in California at the time when the film was made. The humans of the future will surely understand, knowing what they presumably will know about the history of their forebears on Earth, that only in one very brief era, lasting less than 3 centuries, did a significant number of their kind believe that planets and asteroids are inert. 2. My ancestors were ecological refugees long before the term was invented. They were from what is now Bangladesh, and their village was on the shore of the Padma River, one of the mightiest waterways in the land. The story, as my father told it, was this. One day in the mid-1850s, the great river suddenly changed course, drowning the village. Only a few of the inhabitants had managed to escape to higher ground. It was this catastrophe that had unmoored our forebears. In its wake, they began to move westward, and did not stop until the year 1856, when they settled once again on the banks of a river, the Ganges, in Bihar. I first heard this story on a nostalgic family trip as we were journeying down the Padma River in a steamboat. I was a child then, and as I looked into the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?